Good afternoon and welcome to the Humidor Report. Justin here from Beaumont's very own Cigar Club with something big, beautiful, fancy, and hearkening back to the golden days of Cuban cigars. That is this limited edition Humidor that you see sitting here before me. That is a replica model of the original Cuban Partagas cigar factory in Havana. Was first opened in 1845. The brand Partagas comes from its founder's name, a Don Jaime Partagas from Catalonia, Spain, who was an entrepreneur and bought an old industrial building there in Havana directly across the street from what is now the National Capitol building. In 1845 is when the brand Partagas cigars began. He was growing his tobacco in the Hueja Abajo Valley, the big, very lush, well-known growing region in Cuba, which is unfortunately where he passed away some 22 years after founding the factory in one of his tobacco fields and died of mysterious causes. That's at least a little bit of history on the origins of the Partagas brand. Again, it does go back to 1845. To my knowledge, the factory is still operational. It also serves as a museum these days as well, but I do believe that they are still making product in there. The factory itself did change names at one point after nationalization. Once the Castro Empire took over, the factory was renamed to the Francisco Perez Guermont factory. And if you know anything about old Cuban box codes, those codes were coded in a certain way that you could tell which factory the cigars came from, which date they were rolled, and which numbered roller is the one that rolled them. But the changing of the names of the factories, I believe, had a lot to do with them trying to hide those box codes and hide the meanings of it. But this one, again, was also known as Francisco Perez Guermont Factory, which showed up as FPG on the old Code Guneto Nivelo Cuso Cuban box codes from many years ago. Now, whereas there are no Cuban Partagas associated with this, this is coming from the good folks at Forged, who do own the U.S. rights to the Partagas name, and any Partagas you have seen available for purchase stateside is sold by them. But the good news for all of you guys is you do not have to be a Partagas fan to have a chance to win this one of 400. That is all of these things that they made. One of 400 box. We are offering up anything made by Forged. Now, if you know where Forged hangs out, it is these two cabinets hanging out back over here behind me. But we've got things like Shady Moose. We have Bolivar, Alec Bradley, Los Status Deluxe, Room 101, and Diesel. All of those products are included. We do have a few random items here on the table. The limited edition Alec Bradley Filthy Gooligan. There are still some of these left. Not a ton, but this counts if you want to qualify to get the Humidor. We have the new Sir Louis Cigar exclusive, but somehow we got the new Red Rocket from Room 101, also qualifying. We've got the Worthy Fool from Diesel, and we have the new Los Status Deluxe Connecticut. Only been on the market maybe 3 or 4 weeks now. Very new creature right here, but been a big hit since it got here. So these are just a couple of the ones that are included. All the rest of the ones are back here in these two back cabinets. But if you're not sure, you want to take a look for the little sign that you see hanging on the front of the boxes here, and they're hanging over the shelves of anything that qualifies back there. But we're also here, so if you come in and you're not sure, ask one of your local cigar club crew. We'll show you what qualifies, and all you have to do is buy any 3 Forged cigars. Mix and match. For every 3 you buy, another ticket goes in the hat. That's easy to get entries in, but that also means you can get a lot of them because there's no limit on them. And we're going to draw for this thing on Saturday, December 21st. So you can qualify from right now all the way to the time we draw this, the end of business on 12/21. We're going to send this thing home with somebody just in time for Christmas. And if you want to see this wind up under your Christmas tree this year, come in and load up on some Forged now while you can. That is the one of 100 vintage Partagas factory Humidors that you can win both here and at Cigar Club Lake Charles. So you have 2 chances to win. One Humidor here and one in Lake Charles. If you make it over to our home store, go check them out and qualify over there as well. So that's going to wrap us up for this week's edition of the Humidor Report. I know we've been gone a couple of weeks, but thanks for hanging out and waiting for us to come back. We got new stuff as we roll in here through Thanksgiving and the holidays and all that fun stuff coming up. So stay tuned. There's going to be lots of cool things happening here at Cigar Club to make your holidays bright. We'll be back with you next week, same place, same time. And until then, I'm Justin, and we'll see you at the club.